God created us, as I said before, with this void on the inside of us that every living human being is seeking out their deity, seeking out God. It was engineered by God from the very onset. He knew that man could not make it without him. So he left this void that can only be filled by a personal relationship. The next point with that, as far as engineering on the creation side, is in Deuteronomy 30, verse 19, that God created us with the ability to choose. He created us as free moral agents. We are not some type of robotic creation. God has given us the choice to choose. In fact, that's what makes a relationship as beautiful and rewarding as it is because you choose to love me. You don't have to love me, but you choose to love me. Can you say amen? And so he's given us that. In fact, Deuteronomy 30, verse 19 says, I call heaven and earth to record against you this day. I set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Then he goes on and tells us, he says, choose life so that you and your seed or your descendants may live. So God made us free moral agents because he wants us to be in a relationship where we choose to please him. We're not forced to please God. You don't have to please God. You didn't have to come to church this morning. Now, some of you had to come because somebody drug you to church, but for the most part, you didn't have to come to church. You wanted to come to church. You chose to come to church because you are in a relationship with a God that you want to please. There isn't anything that you wouldn't do to please God. And I've got good news for you. There isn't anything God wouldn't do to reward you. In fact, he said, I will not withhold any good thing from those of us that walk upright before him. Can you say amen? Amen. Joshua says in Joshua 24, verse 15, relative to this point about us being free moral agents and can have the power to choose, Joshua stands up in front of the other 11 tribes, and Joshua makes this statement. He says, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I don't know what you're going to do with your kids. I don't know what you're going to do with your family. But I do know that I've drawn my line. And I believe I'm talking to people this morning that has drawn a spiritual line of demarcation that says no matter who's in office, no matter what they legislate, no matter what they give or take or do or don't do, as for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord.